It's been probably 4 months or maybe five since I did one of these. But hopefully we're going to be doing a lot more of them soon. So we got Vid on the line here who's going to talk to us about iGaming, and we're going to talk about our new project called TOKA City. By the way, it's Vid that came up with the name. So yeah, why don't we start there, Vid? I mean, even before you introduce yourself, how'd you come up with the name? Let's dig into that a little bit.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. Glad to be part of this. Regarding the name, I was really hoping to get something that it's simple, that it's clean, that is understandable but also pronounceable for the East and the West, and that it has a meaning in the end. So TOKA basically comes from a Greek word, which means next. And I think the whole project that we've been working on is the next step. I wouldn't say just in iGaming industry, but in entertainment as a whole.
So we're bringing in the next level of entertainment to everybody that
Yeah.
that
And
wants to have fun.
there is like the cherry on the top. Since we we target and we plan a lot around Japan, TOKA is also like a peach cherry blossom. Say we have the Asian Greeks and the Asian flavor. So it's a fusion. It's a fusion word that has a really nice sound, but also it's meaningful for the project and for the whole team.
Yeah, that sounds really good, man. I mean, I love it. I love the way it sounded the first time you told me that word. I was like, this is it. We don't even need to go any further. We don't need to dig any deeper. This is it. Easy, simple, and with a meaning towards what we're building. All right, so Vid, why don't you give us like a few words about yourself, about what you do right now in your current business, and then we're going to talk about how these things sort of blend together in what we're doing together.
Okay, I'm a simple guy, but my life is really complicated on this matter. I work on GameArt as a head of account management, but I'm also heavily invested in the projects that have been developing on motion gaming as well. Those two are like sister companies. Um, what we've been trying to do in the past year or so is to explore and find new ways and new projects that are aimed more in the web 3.0, the more into the crypto. I think bear market it's the perfect opportunity to work on projects like this. So for the past 2-3 years, we've been the search for the next big thing. I think last year on Malta on Sigma, the magic happened when we got introduced to you guys, and from then on we work basically full time on this as well. So yeah, I work basically for 3 companies, but I connect all 3 of them, and the knowledge and the experience of all those 3 companies into this project. I would say this is my baby from the start. So um, that would be really like a short introduction of myself. Otherwise, and I think this is super important for me getting in love with the project so fast, is that I've been into gaming from when I was a kid. I was really lucky that my grandfather was like a IT guy. When I'm talking about the times where computers were like a rare sighting, and we used to play. He was working like till late the afternoon, but when he came back, he always played with his grandkids till I don't know 2 in the morning, and then my mother and the grandmother, everyone was busy. I've been in gaming from when I can remember, and I become really fond of the iGaming industry. I think it's a really interesting, creative industry. I think it's been optimized. I would say quite to the optimum, and now it's the time to create a new landscape that it's, I think, more entertainment oriented, and that's why I like this project, because it's not narrow. There are so many possibilities for so many different users and partners that can jump on this train and on this, I would say, on this mindset. I think this is the most important.
True that. By the way, whenever you say iGaming, I realized that first of all, I didn't know what iGaming meant and what it stood for up to like maybe 10 months ago. Like to me, iGaming, I always thought this was like internet gaming or some shit like that. I never thought that iGaming was actually like the mask of online games that are actually connected to betting and cash and winning or losing money and that sort of matter. I never knew that it was another word for gambling. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think like gambling has this really bad connotation, and even people who go in casino, they don't think of them as gamblers, but rather than players. So gaming has a better sound to it. I think this is it. It's quite a misconception that all the people who go in the casino, whether it's land-based like Las Vegas or online, that they are like they're hooked on the fortune games and basically addicts, and they lose everything. I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions that was created in the past, because most of people that go to Las Vegas or online casino, they go for fun. They go for the thrill. Yes, there is a negative side to it. Obviously, no one is denying this, but that's why I think this layer of gaming and players was created in order to not create that everything is so negative. Not all people who go on Las Vegas and play blackjack and roulette are there
Just for
all the
fun.
time, full time. They're just having fun. So
Yeah.
and the same goes with online casino. I just think that as anything else, like with the movies, the same happened with our industry. So instead of going just to the cinema and having fun there, everything became like faster and more individual, because this is how our society works. So everyone is playing the game that they prefer on the time that they want. So I think that this was the answer to the industry, and this is what basically iGaming is.
Yeah. Well, it's to me, being whenever you mentioned you yourself being like a gamer, I have to say I come from the same background. I remember my first computer was like a 486 X4 16 megs of RAM, and like the first games that I can remember playing, because before that, of course, I had my console. I had like the standard Nintendo, which came Super Mario 1 and Duck Hunt on the one sort of cassette. I don't know if you remember that one, but that was sort of like late 80s, start of the 90s gaming. And ever since then, I've been involved. Like I've been playing like Wolfenstein, like Doom, and Warcraft. I mean, the first Warcraft. I don't know if everybody that knows World of Warcraft really knows where all this began a long time ago. Or GTA, for instance. Now GTA is this immersive sort of world where you go around and it feels like the real world. But the first GTA, you just looked at yourself from the
I
top and you
remember
used
that
to
one.
run around these streets and get into cars, but the idea was still the same. So it's pretty cool. So I think it's very important that me and you come from a gaming background, because what we're trying to build here and what we're actually building is something that bridges this iGaming, let's call it, industry, which from my point of view is has been really left out for the last sort of 10, 15 years, considering the fact of how much the gaming industry itself has grown, like the immersiveness of the games, where we've gotten to with all these games, the entertainment that we get into whenever we talk about these games. So right now, what we're actually building and what TOKA City is, for all of you guys that are watching this, and sorry, that was close. For all of you guys that don't really know what we're building, is we're actually building the GTA of iGaming, or the Fortnite of iGaming. We're building an immersive world where you can walk around, go to different casinos, have fun, entertain with other people, watch different forms of entertainment on stage, like concerts or fashion shows and stuff like that, but be immersed, like more like being in Las Vegas, but as Vid just said, having a much more individual experience while you're sitting in front of your computer or your phone or anywhere, and just being able to play your favorite games while you interact with other people that are in the same thing. So I think that what we're building here is something that is gonna bring the TOKA level of the iGaming that's out there now.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
talking about all this, I want you to touch base, because you have much more experience on this than me. From what we're seeing from the iGaming industry as well as everywhere else, now it's all about the content that people are providing. Like what we see now is all these streamers that are actually building this next layer of this industry. So what's your opinion on that? Like using people like Drake and all these other people that are involved into this to sort of bring the attention of the people to this whole environment and to this whole industry. So yeah, talk to us a little bit about that, because I know that you have a strong opinion and you have a lot of knowledge in that space.
Well, I think it's a generational thing. Like, I don't know, my grandmother and their generation, whatever they hear on TV, this is the sacred truth. Like, they cannot be lying. If it's on TV, that's
true.
like Bible.
If
Okay,
it must be true if it's on TV.
yeah, if it's
That's
on
it.
TV, then
Then
that's
yeah,
it's definitely true.
I mean, why would the government lie to you? It's crazy.
And all the ads and everything, it's the truth, because it's on the television. What our, and even more the younger generations, have a completely different perception of this reality, and they created uh, their own media idols. This happened with PewDiePie, and then it continued with Mr. Beast and
Mr.
all the
Beast is
other
the beast.
streamers.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking just about gaming. I think not just the industry, our whole lives are being afflicted by people who we can identify, and there is no television. Even they, we can come to a conclusion that it's becoming slowly the same thing, but still, uh, it's something that belongs to our generation, and we prefer to listen to people on YouTube than on television. And the same happened, I think, all across the industry. If you want to fix your car, you go on YouTube and you type
find
in
the fix.
how to fix it. If you want to cook something, you do it on YouTube, and you do it with people that you can relate to. And this happened first in gaming. I've been watching YouTube and Twitch and all the stream channels from the very beginning. So we've been watching shitloads of League of Legends, of Call of Duty.
I mean, yeah,
countless
that's how
hours.
you learn. You learn how to do things
Because
from people that
but
are better than you.
but the important thing here is that I think most of people, especially people who like to invest, don't understand that it's about the content. Content is king. Like, nobody would watch PewDiePie if PewDiePie wouldn't be what he is and what he used to be. So this uniqueness and high quality of content was the reason for him to be as successful as it is. And the same happened in other industries, and the same thing is happening in iGaming. I think the success of Stake, it's more than it's a crypto casino. It's related that it was the first one to see the potential in creating new players from a basically non-existing base. And this was done through a massive outreach that these influencers, streamers have. But again, it's not enough just to sit behind a computer and play a video game or a slot. It's about the content that these people create, because
I agree.
it's entertainment, and this is even more important now because everybody wants to be a streamer. Say, I know people who play video games like really good, like on competitive level, but I couldn't watch them for more than 10 minutes because they were just not fun. So I prefer to watch someone who is bad, but it's still fun. And
that's it. And this is exactly it, because like you don't want to watch an introvert, like try and tell you how to play a game. You want to be with somebody that's like open, that has like a nice personality, that sort of resonates with yourself. And I think one of the most important things as well is the fact that, TV was basically pushing the information onto us. Like, you sit down and you watch like Friends or some other sitcom, you have your favorite characters and all this, but there's no two-way connection. You can't really sort of connect to them. And I think what streamers are actually bringing to this game is they have this communication open with the people all the time. So once they're streaming, you can actually chat to them. They can reply to you if they think that your comment or whatever you're saying is cool or fits what they're doing. So the two-way communication between the streamers and the people that are actually watching the streams is a whole different level of communication throughout this whole industry with these platforms. And I think you're right. This is why Stake is kicking ass through Kick. Hey, maybe that's why they named it Kick, because they knew they were going to kick ass with it. But
I never thought about this, but I think it's a good take on why they named it as they did. I think it's also really important that whenever we played video games, and I'm going back to like Game Boy and Pokemon, you had a casino there, if you remember. But there was a casino where you could get like great prizes. Not to mention Grand Theft Auto, Rust, and so on. So I think creating influencer, someone you can relate and someone you have fun with, that you are enjoying the content that he's providing, and the transition from gaming to iGaming was a genius move, because it's a generation that needed some sort of new introduction and edge to this entertainment industry. And I think it helped a lot that online casinos started using more and more gamification, which is basically, I wouldn't say the same, but super similar to the one that you have in mobile or computer games. And it was easier to relate to what you're doing and what you can get. Based on that, I would say that this transition will be even stronger in the future years because of the aging of population and the increasing of the population that is used to this work. And I think the technology it's getting right to do this sort of transition. 2 years ago, it was still not possible, and that's why the first like metaverse casinos, this for me were a big flop through the eyes of a gamer, because it was like going back to the 90s. And what we are doing, and I think what will become a standard in the industry in the next 5 years, it's something that is way more relatable, immersive, and enjoyable for the existing, but also for future players.
For sure. I mean, I couldn't spend more than 5 minutes trying to play a game in the Decentraland casino, for instance. I mean,
I like the idea.
It just hurts my eyes, man. The graphics are so bad. The whole experience is so bad that I just can't do it. Me as a gamer, my expectation, the bar has been raised so much by all the games that came out in the last few years that, you know, I expect something that looks realistic, something that looks better than the real world even, you know. So if I'm going to be spending time in a different dimension, I want it to look and feel better than this, you know. So this is why for me, whenever we headed into this direction, it was either build a AAA game based on the latest that the technology can offer us. Obviously, we're using Unreal 5 as the gaming engine for this, which has like limitless possibilities. And as we spoke earlier today, I mean, Unity, it's going down the drain. It had its chance, but it can't compare to the new gaming engines. Like it's just very outdated. So
I think, yeah, they were really competitive to the moment that Unreal 5 was released. I think this was kind of
the Unity killer.
yeah, the Unity killer. So I think now they're just trying to make some more money out of it. But yeah, I think the possibilities we're just like scraping the tip of the iceberg, because the possibilities here are huge, especially with pixel streaming.
Yeah,
I think this
it's
is
actually really good that you're mentioning this, because I think that this is the biggest progress that we're actually making in this industry, and the technology that we're using as pixel streaming. I think this is the game changer for us, because there's a lot of good looking games. Like for instance, I play Call of Duty on my mobile a lot, but there you need to download a very heavy game. You need to have a very new phone with one of those new GPUs that can sort of, you know, that can actually
yeah.
show you everything in the AAA dimension in the way that you want to see it. Otherwise, it's going to be laggy. It's going to be bad. It takes up a lot of space every time. It's super dreadful. Even now, every time Call of Duty comes out with a new season, like my game needs to be updated on my mobile. I need to download 4 or 5 gigabytes, even 10 gigabytes of skins and for the guns and for the avatars and all this. And what we're doing here, the way that we're solving this, is that we are actually pixel streaming our whole game to any device or any computer. The whole computing power, all of the GPU power and the rendering power that our game needs is actually in the cloud, in the computer somewhere. And this is how we would allow people from all over the world to enjoy a AAA game without the needed hardware. We're basically providing the hardware for them. And if we couldn't do that, I mean, I wouldn't bet that much on the success of the project if people had to download this, and then with every update that we launched, that they would have to go back in it and update the whole thing and download another 20 gigs of information, and it would have been dreadful. But right now, I think we're going to kick ass with what we have.
I mean, it goes without saying that we are a cloud generation. Everything is in cloud, more or less. So this was like one of my first and biggest shocks when I entered in the iGaming industry, when I watched the games that were like really well performing, and they looked like they're back from the 80s, you know, like really simple, like really old looking games. And I was wondering who is playing this, because I was still watching this through the eyes of a gamer. But
Yeah,
then it became quite logical, especially in the countries where like third world countries where they don't have access to really sophisticated
hardware.
hardware. It just makes no sense to create something that is complicated and it's making the experience bad. So from then on, I kind of always focus that the thing that we're making is accessible to as many people as possible, while enhancing the experience. I think you need to understand that the product you're making for your user, not for yourself. So it needs to be accessible to as many people as possible. And with pixel streaming, this is a game changer, not just for us, for TOKA City, but it's a game changer, I think, for the whole industry in terms of entertainment and gaming and iGaming. because then you can make something that is affordable and accessible to everyone. And I think this is like the biggest edge that is that it's being
Yeah.
developed right now.
Actually, you just gave me an answer to a question that I never asked myself. It's like, why do games like Axie Infinity like look like that? And that's a game started in the Philippines. It's a country where obviously people can't afford to have like the needed hardware to go like at a level where everything's going to be like AAA graphics with all the effects and all the reality textures and everything that an engine can, like Unreal 5, can bring to the table. So this is why I never asked myself this question, like why are they going backwards? Why are they going to the 90s? But this is exactly it. They didn't have the hardware to run the cool stuff.
And in the end, it's about the experience. That's why like Among Us was so successful, even though it was not a super complex graphic game. The experience was outstanding. So this should always be the first and most important thing. And we're back to the streamers, where content is king. Say it's really good that something is like good looking, but then the content it's super important. And how accessible is this specific content? I think this thing it's crucial, and that's why I like working on this project, because I'm confident that we can make this accessible all around the world without sending complex VR Googles to millions
everybody.
and millions.
Yeah. No, for sure. So let's move on to the next question. Talking about like streaming and technology, what do you think about AI and how AI can actually supplement what we're building? I mean, we've talked about this a few times, but like, what's your vision? How would AI improve the experience within our platform towards the users?
I think it's super exciting. I'm really happy that I'm alive and I'm part of this, because I was always a fan of movies like Terminator and stuff like this. But I think we're far from this scenario. It's not in the near future. I think that right now we are overhyped with what AI will do. I think AI it's not a solution, but a great tool to get to the solution. So I think that you need people who know how to use AI as a tool to get to the end result. So I'm not really on the hype train that AI will just do everything for us. It's not
For
yet.
sure.
It will still take a lot of time to get there. But as a tool, I'm using it on a daily basis, and I think in the right hands, it can produce outstanding results. And same goes for our project and for, I think, the whole iGaming industry, both in terms of production and let's say being creative. Tools like, I don't know, Midjourney or Leonardo, they can help you with a lot of things, how to visualize, how to test something. But in the end, I still think of them as tools. When AI will go to the next level, so when AI will be capable of being creative as we are, then we'll be in another podcast probably talking about other challenges and problems. But I still think we're not there yet. I think it can be used really effectively in terms of security, and it goes the other way around. So companies will need to be really careful, because when there is light, there is darkness, and vice versa. So this tool can be used as a knife to put butter on the bread, but it can also be used to inflict damage. So it's something that everybody, especially in the IT sector, needs to be aware of. And yeah, I think security will be the biggest battlefield
I
between
think security would be
the,
one.
yeah,
Then maybe like I'm actually hoping that it will help us, in the entertainment side of things as well. I hope that we'll be able to create like more immersive experiences whenever it comes to communication with, let's say, like some of the dealers. I mean, I know we're already talking about like having live dealers and all
yeah,
that. This is happening, but like bringing another level of entertainment or communication through these
like,
live dealers and things like this, performers and
yeah.
stuff like that on stage and
No,
things
no,
like
definitely,
that use. Yeah.
definitely, yeah. I think here people will still be like afraid, maybe also because we as a species behave like this, and then we think that everyone else will be just like us. Say, when you have like alien movies, when aliens come, they destroy everything because we create them in our own image. Um,
That's true,
so,
man.
yeah, so I think it's like with usually use the analogy for airplane. People, if people knew that the airplane could fly and land on its own, that plane would be like empty, or maybe a few like nuts will be sitting there. The rest they need a pilot to be sure. So I think this transition will be done slowly, seamlessly, so to speak, to create the to ensure that the user is comfortable. I'm
Yeah.
100% sure that most of people don't know and don't understand that the support chats and even phone calls that they are doing are already on the AI side.
Yeah, from a
Uh,
long time actually. Like we started talking about AI
uh,
ever since Mid Journey and Chat GPT hit the scene, but like these support companies have been using stuff like that for ages. I mean,
yeah,
it's
I'm saying based on that, I think it will be necessary to use a hybrid model where you have real humans and you have
for
AIs
sure.
that enhance that experience and slowly uh, use humans to create the experience, but then it's performed by AI models. I see it
Yeah. Oh, it's
same
gonna
like
get
you
there.
said.
It's just not there yet. I mean, I
Yeah,
think we're just seeing the little tip of the iceberg right now, and
absolutely.
where this is gonna go, nobody can say right now. But I mean, we'll see. It's as long as we don't stay out of the loop. I love something that I saw on Instagram. One dude posted something saying that don't worry about AI taking your job. Be worried about people who know how to use AI taking your job. And this is what we should be focusing on: is knowing how to use what it has to offer right now and optimize our work and everything that's involved in the project
Definitely.
right now, but don't count on it just taking over and doing stuff for us. This is not going to happen in the
Nah,
near future.
I mean, here, like my personal belief is that especially my generation will be hit probably the hardest because we are one of the last generations where when we were kids, they were like telling us you need to decide what path you will take, what will be your career. The future, I think it's more flexible, maybe for some people even more aggressive because it will be changing even faster and even more violently. Not in the negative way, but I think unless you work in industry or in a sector that's like, I don't know, chef or maybe someone who is like a carpenter, stuff like this, it will be really fun, at least for me. I see it as something that it's fun, that it's dynamic, but on the other side, it's not good to be too attached to something because I think things will be changing even faster in the future.
That's true. All right. Well, I think we both agree on this, and this is where we're going. So basically, mentioning AI and security, what you think about the recent the recent problems that like Stake and AlphaPo had when it comes to security and sort of crypto casinos. I'm sure this is like a topic that everybody is discussing right now. I mean, Stake handled it pretty well, but the security risk is still out there, and it's there's
It's always out there. Like
yeah.
I think that the reaction it's really important. And here it was, especially in the Stake case, I think it was flawless. But it's like this where is money, there will be people who like to take advantage of this. I think especially users are not aware on the scale that how many people exist that try to take advantage and try to find
Oh yeah, that's their full-time job. There's
yeah,
there's
and as,
thousands and tens of thousands of people that their full-time job is how to find exploits where they can actually
and especially with AI tools, this will get even worse. So I think it's part of the game. It's extremely important how you're prepared for all possible scenarios, even though there are some that maybe you cannot foresee. And then the second part is like the reaction to it, like how fast and how well the support and the whole team it's reacting and protecting the assets of their customers, most importantly, and then also themselves. So
I guess that our platform, whenever it comes to security, the fact that we're using pixel streaming is something that creates a shield and a wall whenever it comes to those people that are trying to use exploits and hacks, because the streaming is actually like a two-way tunnel and it can't be breached, which would definitely give us an advantage whenever we're talking about the platform itself, for sure.
Definitely, I think this is it's a huge advantage. Even though, don't try to like call people to test your
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened to Terra and
Yeah. I don't want to
yeah.
tell people, but
So
still, in terms of tech, it's like way harder to get around than if you actually have access to the code, because through the streaming, nobody has access to the code. They're actually just getting like a feed of what's happening, and that's it.
no, absolutely. I mean, this was something that I was really excited about. Think it will become an important part in future, not just of our project but others as well. But yeah, like I said, I think the most important part here is to be active and vigilant at all time, and to go with the flow in terms of development, technologies, and always be on the lookout for like what's behind the corner and how can use it to protect your business and your customers. So this is always a race between the two sides, and sometimes they're ahead and sometimes you are. But like I said, I think no one is safe.
Nobody's safe. That's
Nobody's
true.
safe. That's why it's so important that apart from taking all the possible steps for security, it's also important to have a really well-made plan B, a scenario for when you are breached, how you'll react to
How you
minimize
handle
the
this,
yeah.
yeah, for
So
sure, because it's gonna happen one way or another.
yeah, I
Shit
mean,
happens. I mean,
it might not be on the same scale as it was for the other two companies, but there always be people trying to take advantage of you.
of the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I think first the mindset, like that people who think that they cannot be touched usually have the hardest landing, and then being like really updated with what's going
Yeah,
on this on this landscape. I think this is super important.
for sure. Well, it's something that we're gonna have to deal with, and we got to be prepared for it anyway. So yeah, thanks for talking to us, and to summarize all this, I just want to say that I'm going to be excited for us to showcase the project at the events that are coming up. Like we're going to be in Malta in
Yeah,
November.
Sigma. Yeah.
Yeah, Sigma Malta. Then we're going to be in London for the London Ice event. So I'm really hoping that we get some traction, and I'm really hoping that people will actually appreciate what we're building. From what we've seen already, the younger people who were brought up gaming and having like PlayStations and stuff like that, you don't really need to explain to them what we're building. But for a lot of people that are into the iGaming industry, this is still something very new. So I'm hoping that they'll actually manage to see what we're building and how we are gonna change things around. So yeah,
Definitely. I mean, I think this is one of our biggest missions, is to present the project in the right way, in
yeah,
terms that it's not something to steal players from
the
Casino
current
A to
environment.
Casino B,
Yeah,
but that we're on a mission to start creating product that will be bringing new players, or creating new players for this type of entertainment, but also making this entertainment like larger, more complex, because pixel streaming and Unreal can be used for all sorts of shows, like Cirque du Soleil and singers and all sorts of stuff. So we are more into like recreating a Las Vegas thing than actually creating just one
yeah,
online casino.
sure.
And I think this is the mission that we need to be like super focused and explain it in the right way, so people understand that it's not just running around some slots and pressing them like you would do in a typical online casino, but
Sure.
actually having fun with your friends, meeting new people, listening to different concerts, watching different shows. That's, I think, the biggest
That's our thing.
yeah, the biggest thing, that we need to present it in the right way.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you for taking the time to restart my podcasting career, and
That was a lot.
hopefully we'll get a few more of those in, and get some more people talking about it. We're going to be presenting the project really soon, so some of these podcasts would be of us actually running around and trying the different games. So stay tuned, guys. This is just the beginning.